Hi everybody, it's Sally from Sally Stampers. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm bringing you this lovely project that I think would be perfect either for Valentine's or maybe even for Mother's Day. Obviously on the outside you've got this beautiful box which is made with the most amazing new paper, which is the Falling In Love. As you can see, I have it on all four sides and on both ends as well. This ribbon is from the Sale-A-Bration, so obviously if you spend £45, which is €60 or more, you will be entitled to a free item out of the catalogue. And then inside here is a candle, a stamped candle. Now I've used the Beautiful You candle here, stamp here, and I will show you how to do this as well during the video, but it just fits perfectly inside this box. And like I said, if maybe this candle was £2 in Matalan, and I think it's 6 inches in length, so it's a really good size. Like I said, if maybe you're a little bit tight after Christmas with the cash, then obviously this would be a perfect gift for Mother's Day, and I'm sure she would love it, the fact that you've made it all for yourself, or maybe even for your sister or mother-in-law or an auntie, anyone would love this. So I'm going to show you how to make it. Now before I start, I am going to apologise that I don't have anybody keeping my dogs quiet today. One of them is fast asleep next to me, but the other is in the bedroom, so that generally means if she starts barking we're going to know about it, but fingers crossed, she'll be really good. Okay, so obviously I'm going to bring in my scoreboard. You need a piece of DSP that is a piece of cardstock that is 11.5 by 11 inches. So with the 11.5 across the top, we're going to score at 1.5 inches, 4 inches, 6.5 inches and 9 inches. And then we're going to rotate and we're going to score at 2.5 inches and 8.5 inches. Okay, oops. And as with everything, we're going to fold and burnish all of our score lines. And as I mentioned before, don't forget it's Sale-A-Bration, which means that free gifts galore, and there are some really beautiful projects this time. If you want to check them out, the link to my shop is below, which you can have a look at and see all the beautiful projects, all the products even. And like I say, you never know, you might just find something that takes your fancy. And if you get it to £45, or as I said, €60, then you're entitled to a free item. It's definitely worth a look at. Okay, so I folded and scored all of these, folded and burnished. It's really not doing well today. All of the score lines. Now going to do some cutting. So you will see, let me just zoom out a little bit. I'm probably going to get this the wrong way. No, yeah, thought so. No, it's not going to go anymore. As you can see, we have the score lines top and bottom, and then we have this thinner section here. And it's the thinner section where we are just going to do a little bit of cutting away. So we have the small corner here and the first block that we're going to cut away. Now when you do this, just cut a very small wedge there, because that's going to be the lip of your box that tucks inside. And then we're just going to cut that away. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So a very small wedge there, cutting into the bottom and then up here, just like that. So cut up the rest of the tabs here at the bottom. In fact, technically I don't think we have a bottom to this, because one of these panels is going to be the bottom, so I guess these are going to be the side. And this is a 12 by 12 sheet of vanilla, very vanilla cardstock that I'm using. So cut up the sides there, and then obviously once you look at it, you can see how it will fold up. So before we do any adhesive on these parts, I'm going to put my DSP strips on. And I've gone with the same DSP, Falling In Love, and I've gone with the butterflies this time. Now you don't need to put one on the bottom panel if you don't want to, but I just think it just finishes it off if you put them all on. And like I have done, when you put your butterflies on, firstly you want to make sure that they're going the correct way. So I will actually want that one that way, that one that way, the bottom one doesn't matter, and again this one needs turning that way. So now I've got them like that. Oops, bring in my snail, and then I'm just going to adhere these onto my card. And the DSP that I have got here, I have cut to, the 4 pieces here are 5.5 inches by 2. Just try and get them central, but also make sure these edges line up. Not that it matters greatly, because like I said, this will be the bottom panel, but we want them all to look good, don't we? So try and line this one up too. And then the last one on the lid. I suppose this one is probably the most important to get straight, being as it is going to be the lid. There we go. I don't think it's quite lined up, but it's okay. Right, so now we've done that, we need to put these end pieces on. So we need 2 2" by 2" squares. And just to make sure that you're going to get them on the right square, when we make our box up, what you will be doing is folding the middle one in first, then technically the back one, and then the front one. So we need to put our panels on these 2 end pieces here, and the reason we're doing that is so that when we fold it up, the join will be at the back. Oops, sorry, it's completely off camera. The join will be at the back, so you don't have to be thinking of hiding that seam. So back over again, and obviously they're going to be the same way as this pattern as well. So let's stick these on. Again, if you can try and make sure you line them up. There's so, as you can see, the reverse of this paper here as well. There's so many different options with this paper. It is absolutely gorgeous, and not just for Valentine's either. It, as I say, it can be used for Mother's Day or anything. It's just really beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to fold the sides in now. So as I said, we're going to do the bottom up first and then the back. So if we put some fuse on this one, oops, I want it in the box, and again on this one. And I don't know if you caught any of the actual Stampin' Up videos on YouTube, but the lovely Bonnie actually gave a little tip of using this fast fuse, because so many people have issues with it getting all stuck up and not working properly. And it's very simple. When you're using your snail, you have your finger on top and use it like you used to use those corrector pens, so you would drag it like that. With the fast fuse, you don't have a finger on top. Now I appreciate it has these ridges on top, but if you hold it like this and then do it, which I will show you on here, for some reason it just runs perfect. Now it appears that my dog is dreaming, bless her, so I apologise. Okay, so this is the final side just folded up there. Make sure you've obviously got all your edges lined up, and there's your box. Now if we go putting this in here, it's going to be difficult to get out, so using my 3/4 circle punch, I'm just going to get my small ruler, because I do really want to get this central, because it's going to be a gift and I don't want it to look offside. So obviously I'm looking for the 3", which is around that purple butterfly's wing, and I'm not going all the way down to the DSP. I'm only going as far as the top of it, but it's just enough to give that lip to be able to take the lid out easily. Okay, so we'll put that to one side for now because we're going to get on with doing the candle. So you will need Daisy. Dear, bless her, dreaming, obviously chasing rabbits or something. Okay, so you need a piece of tissue paper. Now, unfortunately, I didn't actually have any white tissue paper, so I don't know if you can see. I don't think you can see it very well, but mine is actually, or you can see it better on here, it's slightly off-white, more of a cream colour, which isn't a bad thing, but if I show you on my other candle, if you look closely enough, I don't know if you can see it, but it has got a very faint line around it where you can see the tissue paper, because, oh, that's slightly better, because it's a slightly different colour. It's not massively obvious, but I'm guessing that a white tissue paper would be better. You will also be aware that some tissue papers, not all, have like a smooth side and a matte side. So you want the smooth or shiny side uppermost, and that's the one that you need to stamp on. So also try and make sure that it's flat, unlike mine is quite creased. Okay, so I'm going to get my basic black, and like I said, I'm going to do the same image, which is the Beautiful You. The clear mount, it does come in 2 boxes, so I'm going to use the same image on this one. So I'm going to stick her on my D block, and while I'm here I'm just going to grab my C block, because I want to stamp that with black as well, and put the sentiment on, which is live with passion, laugh out loud, love deeply. So I'm going to stamp my lady on there. Yep, that's not done too badly, thank goodness. And then my little words underneath. Okay. And then ideally you really need to try and let it dry a little, which obviously I don't have a lot of time for that, but just let it dry a little, and then get in this shaded image here. It just fits on my B block. So I'm using Blushing Bride as the sort of skirt colour, if you like, and as you can see it's gone over the edge, but that's how I want it to look. So that's Blushing Bride, which again is the colour that's the same as the DSP. Just need to scrub this. I've actually got my Stampin' Scrub off to one side here, just using it to clean that. And then I'm using Crumb Cake, which again is a colour that's in with the DSP. So that's those done. And just give that just a minute to dry while I clean my stamps, which is obviously an ideal excuse to get them cleaned. I'll just pop, oh dear. I think that probably woke the dog up if nothing else. Okay. So I'm quite happy that that's okay. So what you need to do now is cut around it, not too closely, but obviously enough that you don't get a lot of the tissue paper spare, because you don't really want an excessive amount. It actually is only my second attempt at doing this, would you believe, and the first one was the other candle that I did. So I'm really quite pleased with the outcome, and as I say, if you want to have a go at doing this, I'm sure you will find the same easy way of doing it. And then you also need some wax paper. Now I sort of tried to see if greaseproof paper or baking parchment would be the same, but I don't actually think it is, because this obviously is waxy, hence it being called wax paper. So basically you get a strip of this too, and I'm just going to cut some of this off because I don't need all of it. So I've just got enough there that will cover my image, and then simply place it on your candle where you want it. Make sure that you're happy with its positioning, that it's not creased, not wonky, which I've just moved it. Let's just have a look. That's better. And then I'm just getting my wax paper. It doesn't matter which side you use. And you lay it over the top, so it's almost like a barrier. And I just very gently give it a sweep just to make sure that there's no bubbles. And then you need your heat tool. Now it will be quite loud, so I do apologise. Just a few very quick pointers. Make sure that you get your heat tool hot before, because you don't want to be overheating the candles, because obviously they're going to melt. And you will notice as you're doing it that the image or the paper will start to sweat. The wax paper and the tissue paper will have a layer of sweat between, and you will see that. You will notice it changing and the picture gets more prominent as you're going along, but as I say, you will notice as I'm doing it. So I'm just going to get this warm beforehand, and then just simply heat it as you go along, and don't stay on one area for too long either. Just gently go round and heat it. It does seem to take a while, and then all of a sudden it starts to go, as I'm sure you can just see there on the wording. It's just starting to change. Obviously, if you're doing a larger image, or you want to do several images around the candle, I would suggest you either do them all in one go and put plenty of paper around them, or maybe do it in two sections. No, I've not quite got to that stage yet. I'm just doing one. Okay. So I think that is just about there. Okay, oops, switch that off. Okay, so I don't know if you can see at the top here, let me see if I can get the right light on it, you can see the like beads of sweat on it. So just very gently peel your wax paper off, and although mine does look a little crinkled and bubbly, and there's some edges here that are missing, so I'm just going to very gently go over those edges again just to make sure that it's all blended in. Okay, just throw that on the floor, and as you can see, there's your image on your candle. Doesn't it look good? So let's pop that into our box that we made. And then the final thing for me to decorate them is using this beautiful metallic ribbon, which again is a Sale-A-Bration item. So I'm getting a real good length of that, and then I'm just going to wrap it around the box. I suppose you'd probably do this a similar way as you'd wrap Christmas presents, dare I say. I know it's only just passed. And then we're just going to tie a bow on the top. And if you've seen my bows on previous videos, I always advise you to turn the front of the box away from you. Just make sure you don't pull too tight that your lid dips. So just pull it, put the front of the box away from you, and then we get the two rabbit's ears. Tie those up, and we have a relatively pretty bow. I did that completely off the corner there. I'm just going to trim these ends up, and then for me, just a finishing touch, I'm just going to add some pearls to it, just really for a bit more on the top. And there's me saying don't press too hard, and I've just pushed it down. There we go. I'm just going to leave mine like that. And like I said, there you have two beautiful boxes, just perfect for Mother's Day, birthdays, and maybe even as a thank you. You could use any image you wanted to on these. And as I say, they are just really cute. And as you can see, fairly quick to make. If you want to buy some of these items, as I say, the link to my shop is below. £45, €60 you can get this ribbon and any other of the products. If you spend £90 or 120, it's €120, and I know that sounds a bit odd, but I don't know if the maths is right, then obviously you will get to. The other thing as well, if you just noticed, if you are stamping onto your tissue paper and you don't have a protective sheet underneath, get a piece of paper because it will go through. Okay, so they're my two candle boxes ready to give now to my mum and my mother-in-law as a little gift. Thank you for joining me. I hope you'll come back and see some more of my videos again soon. Have a good day. Bye.